The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
One of the episodes we just did recently, I totally had a fucking dyslexic moment, and you didn't even call me on it, and we just kept it moving, and I didn't even get a chance to call myself on it.
What'd you say?
And it was when we were talking about rappers and everything, and I was like talking about how everybody goes on Sway and is just reading from their phone, and I say I was supposed to say they're spitting written shit,
Mm-hmm.
and I say it backwards. I say they're written spitting shit.
They're written spitting shit. And I was like, hell yeah, man. They are. That's bullshit.
Yeah. And it's so funny. We need to pull that clip up and talk about how common that is.
Yep,
You know what I mean? Like how common dyslexia is.
Well, we're already live, and you kind of you cleared the air with that. So you called yourself out just now. So, yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name is Unknown.
And we are coming live from California to you. And just like I say at the beginning of every episode, I'm going to reiterate it now, and that is don't buy weed from Spencer, because his weed tastes like shit. You know it. I say it every day, all right? So there it is again. Don't do it, and he's a bitch. We're here with another Tuesday News Day for you. It's mad informative. We have all kinds of shit to talk about. Lots of things happen, and I think the biggest thing in the news in the last week, which kind of isn't, it's disappearing already in a way, is the shooting of the Virginia news reporter and her cameraman. That the video was released by the shooter. He put this shit out on his Twitter or some shit like that before he killed himself, and that's been happening a lot lately. I remember there was a dude not far from here, the Santa Barbara shooter that shot up the college, or just drove around town like shooting random people. He uploaded his video. It was like a 16-minute video of him talking about how everyone deserved to die because they didn't give him the time of day and all this shit. And I saw that video that day before he did the shootings. Like, it was being shared and like spread around, and they're like, look at this crazy kid. And just technology nowadays is weird that killers can put everything online.
What was your initial thought when you saw that video?
Initially, I thought that, okay, like, I don't want to sound weird when I say this, but I've seen a lot of videos of people dying in a lot of different ways online, all right? I've gone through my crazy rotten.com phase, and, you know, when I was a kid and shit, and there's always those videos on YouTube that are graphic, or videos on Facebook, and they go, this is graphic for adults. Of course you want to watch that shit. So I've seen a bunch of crazy shit, and when I saw that, it didn't feel like I was watching someone get shot. You know what I mean?
No. I'm talking about the SB kid.
Oh, the SB kid?
When you saw his video before the rampage happened, what did you think? Like, honestly, like, what was your take on the video?
Honestly, 100%. Much like a lot of other people, didn't take him seriously. I thought that he was a dumb kid that was trying to get attention and, you know, fucking just wanted to rant on YouTube, you know what I mean? And I don't think I don't think I watched the whole thing. Like, I watched pieces of it, and then I watched the whole thing afterwards when I found out.
So the story is the dude's dad was a fucking movie executive.
Yeah.
You know, he has a different view on media and life than most people do, because when you grow up in that type of industry, you realize the ins and outs, and you see what the actual dynamic is opposed to what us, the viewers, normally would assume that the dynamic is. You know what I mean? And just like the music industry, we know bits and pieces from the part that we play, and we can tell that how fake it is and how rigged everything is. You know what I mean? Well, TV and movies and shit is the exact same way. You know, everybody has an agenda. So that push that aside, that being said, I thought for sure the kid was faking it. I didn't think that. I thought it was just like a rant video to like cry, like a cry for attention type of video. But I thought it felt written or like acted out.
It felt like
sense,
bad
you know
acting.
I mean? Like,
at a lot of times.
I totally didn't feel that it was real. And then, sure as shit, he ended up killing all kinds of people that day. And that was really close to home because of how close to home it was. You know what I mean? Santa Barbara is right here on the Central Coast, you know? So it's like anywhere near us, we're going to feel that a lot more than just some random shit from across the country. And I feel like people can agree with that to an extent as well. It's like, you know, things that are far away from you tend to not affect you as much as they would if they're happening right there in your hometown.
Yep, absolutely. And I remember watching it the first time and the second time, and it definitely seemed like bad acting. It seemed like he was, because there was times when he would do like a little laugh and like, you're gonna get what's coming to you and all this shit. And it's like he just seemed like a shitty actor that wanted to be in movies, and maybe this was gonna be some sort of a sick, twisted like acting reel. I don't know. You know what I mean? But
I don't know either.
But it's a weird world that we live in, and that's what that's supposedly what this guy did with the Virginia shooting. He did the same thing. He was posting all these things about this reporter. Initially, I heard that he was mad at this reporter for some racist remarks that she had said. And
do you know what they were?
No. What were they? Do you?
Okay. Yeah. The racist remark supposedly in his mind that she said was something about, she said, we'll be swinging by someplace. He took that as racist by swinging, and saying something about we're doing something out in the field, you know, like in the field that they work in, you know, like out
like
in
a
the field,
like a field reporter.
Okay. Exactly. Okay. And he said, "Oh, out in the field. What is that? In the cotton fields? Is that because I'm black?" You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely an agitator. Like, took everything as racist, no matter what. And looking at the history of those, are no way implied whatsoever in a racist sense, and by any means, in any terms, and by any standards. I don't care if you're black or not. You're not going to assume that unless you're an agitator looking for that assumption. You know what I'm saying? And if I guarantee that it wasn't in a derogatory way. The dude has issues. The dude is mentally unstable for sure. Yeah. And to let some things that are so vague and so non-menial, you know what I mean? Like swinging by somewhere and doing something while we're out in the field, you know what I mean? Like, that is ridiculous.
That's finding something in nothing.
Yeah, and so, like, he reported her for that or something, and, like, you know, basically, so he went out of his way to cause these problems for himself, like draw attention to himself, right?
Absolutely.
So he does that, and then
he
reports her for racism
there,
or whatever. Well, yeah, they were interning at a place, or they both worked together at the place, or whatever it was. And so he caused the attention to himself by making these reports and doing these things, and he ended up losing his job over it.
Yeah.
And she ended up getting the job from it, and you know what I mean? So he was just bitter and upset with his plight and whatever happened. And so you saw what unfolded on camera, you know? And so that is one version of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's both sides of one version of it. You know what I mean? His side saying, "Oh, she did this, they said this, she was racist, they were racist," you know? Mm-hmm. And then their side is, "No, this is just normal talk. This is what we say when we do these things. You know, he's just an agitator and he's trying to claim racism for whatever sympathy or whatever. You know, yada, yada." So that is a truth or a version of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But from our side, from our stance, looking at that video, there's a lot of things that didn't add up. You know, the guy's hand wasn't black. I get the guy was a light-skinned black guy, but the hand was white, pretty white.
I'm looking.
It could have been him.
I'm looking at a picture.
Knows?
I'm looking at a picture of the guy right now, and he is light-skinned, but like
not that light-skinned.
That was a white hand. Like, that was a 100% white hand. You could compare it to her skin, And also, another big thing for me was the cameraman. Like, the cameraman was shooting out into the water or whatever off here in the middle of this interview. And, I mean, I don't work in the news industry, but I assume that you get the full shot of the interview, and then you get exterior, shots of other shit later, and then you cut it in. You want the whole interview just in case if you, need something good. And that doesn't make any sense for him to be looking over there and then turn right when they're going to shoot. Also, the dude walks right up and fucking points a gun at everybody and nobody notices, which is weird.
Yeah.
And it's not like everybody had their back turned. And he puts the gun out for a second and then puts it down and like does something and then shoots people. And I will say I didn't see the guns hit her clothes. I didn't see her body or anything. Like,
no impact.
She jumped from the sound. But also, to me, I'm not saying that he didn't hit her, but to me, it looked like when he pulled the trigger, he kind of pulled the gun to the side. You know what I mean? How that happens when people who aren't experienced with shooting.
Yeah.
When instead of squeezing the trigger, he pulled the trigger and the gun jumped to the right before he shot. So the initial couple shots could have missed her, and then he hit her off camera.
I'm saying I've never been shot, so I can't really assume. But from the caliber of the gun that he had,
it was a 45,
and the size of frame of that anchor woman, she's tiny. You know what I mean? What does she weigh? 130 pounds, 120 pounds. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? From a 45 caliber bullet, that shit is gonna blast a hole in you. A 45 caliber bullet will bust a hole in an inch thick plate of steel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if it hits your body, you're going to see an impact, especially from point blank. That shit's going to knock your shoulder back or like, especially where she got shot. I seriously don't think that it's just going to melt her like butter.
Yeah.
And you're not going to see her move an inch. And she's just going to run away lightly screaming, like scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't hear like a pain or agonizing scream. I didn't see any impact. I didn't, you know what I mean? So my skeptical mind obviously is going to jump to, no, that's not real. But, it's hard to know from the angle of what did he record it with, a cell phone? You know what I mean? Yeah. And that video just doesn't seem like, I don't know. To me, the whole thing just had some type of fuckery sense to it.
Yeah,
right away.
I don't know what to believe. Saw it, like I said, when I first saw it, I didn't feel like I was watching a video of a girl getting shot. I didn't feel like I didn't feel like my stomach turn or feel like, man, I wish I wouldn't have watched that. Like it felt almost comical, like it was made up. And then in the video that I saw that was debunking it, and it kind of broke down a bunch of things. And in the end, it showed a video it said, this is what it looks like to get shot. And it has a police camera, like a police chest cam, and he's chasing a suspect, telling him to stop, blah, blah, blah. The dude turns around and like pulls something out of his pocket. So the cop shoots him with his police issue 9mm Beretta, shoots him one time. And the dude fucking like his body turns when he gets shot. It pulls him over to the side. He collapses to the ground and there's just blood pouring like out of somewhere underneath his shirt.
Yeah.
And that was just a shot to the body. And that dude didn't die or anything. Like
a 9mm bullet would like put a dent. It might put a dent in a piece of steel, but that 45 will blast a hole through it.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean?
And I'm supposed to believe that she just just kind of jumped a little bit when that bullet went through her, and then she turned around and ran away in high heels? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think
me neither, But who knows? You know what I'm saying? That's where the skepticism and everything comes into place. We are training ourselves now to not really believe anything that we see or hear because we've been lied to so much. So like the misconceptions are definitely there in play. You know what I mean? Like we weren't there, so we can't exactly say for sure. I know that we never saw no bodies on the ground.
Yeah.
The footage just stops there. The camera just didn't stop recording. So where's the rest of the footage?
Yeah. It kind of looks like he put it in his pocket and then started running. Besides
that, where's the news footage?
Yeah.
Where's the other news camera footage?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's things that are there that are blatantly obvious that if this is real and you do have the footage, why not just show it and put all the shit to rest and let let the people know, yo, this is graphic or whatever, and it's not for everybody to see, but those who want the proof, it's right here. Put it up for public domain. Let people have it. You know what I mean? I don't understand. This is where the conspiracy starts to play, in the fact that now all these gun control issues are being pushed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This just happened a few months ago.
I have a video I want to play that touches on that.
All right.
I have this video, and it's the same day. It's the night of the shooting, and it's Allison Parker's father. Allison Parker is the news reporter that got shot. Allison Parker's father, and Awesome Ty brought up a good point in the natural habitat community that, you know, regardless of you know, what happened or didn't happen, these people don't get to go home to their families, and these people have lives and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, that's a good point. I'm not sure what happens there, but I know that these people are supposed to be her family, her dad and her son, or not son, her boyfriend. And they don't seem to be very focused on losing their daughter. Here, I'll just play it for you. First of all, it's not their daughter, it's just his daughter. The son is not the son. He's the boyfriend, and he's not a dad.
She was only 24 years old. She only turned 24 a week ago. And yet she lived a great life. I mean, she did a lot of stuff. She excelled at everything she did. And she loved what she did. She loved the people that she worked with. She was happy with her place in life. So, you know, we can only take, you know, some solace in the fact that she had a wonderful life. She was extremely happy, and she loved this guy with all her heart. And that's the toughest thing for me, that everybody that she touched loved her, and she loved everybody back. And you know, I'm not going to let this issue drop. This is, you know, we've got to do something about crazy people getting guns. And and the problem that you guys have is that, and I know it's the news business, and this is a big story, but next week it isn't going to be a story anymore, and everybody's going to forget it. But you mark my words, my mission in life. And I talked to the governor today. He called me, and he said, and I told him, I said, I'm going to do something, whatever it takes, to get gun legislation to shame people, to shame legislators into doing something about closing loopholes in background checks and making sure crazy people don't get guns. And he said, you go.
To shame legislators?
Yeah, okay, so he was paid to do this shit.
Yeah, that shit,
you know,
that's bullshit. I could understand him saying this and doing this and going about all this course of events maybe a week after she got shot, but 12 hours after she got shot, that man, his face doesn't look puffy, neither does the boyfriend's. They just look like they came and showed up. He started crying barely for a second, and he wasn't. What kind of shit is that, where she's 24 years old but she lived a full life and she enjoyed it? You're fucking 24 years old, you haven't lived shit. Like, you're barely getting into real life. And
right. Well, I don't want to say the verdict is in yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not. My mind isn't made up one way or the other yet. You know, I'm in limbo. I'm definitely skeptical.
That guy does not help.
Like,
that's for sure.
No. He had an agenda before this happened. He had a gun rights agenda before any of this happened. Before his daughter got shot or anything. You know what I'm saying? He was on that side of the fence before. That's why he immediately jumped to that. And it's a typical thing that happens in those scenarios. You know what I mean? Everybody has values and things they believe in and whatever, and that was one of his, and it just showed through instantly. He couldn't even finish faking his tears to get his gun rights law shit out. You know, the guy's applying to be a politician right there on live TV. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say one way for sure or the other. I don't know if it was a real shooting yet. I don't know if it wasn't. I don't know. I know for sure that all the stuff to come out, the guy's tweets, the shooter's tweets, you know, looking at his tweets and the way that trying to process the way he was forming his thought and everything, you know, it's like he was fucked up. There was something wrong with him. You can tell just by the way that he worded his tweets that he was mentally unstable and he was like freaking out.
Yeah.
You know, so the scenario has points where it could be real. You know what I mean? This could be an actual thing, and you know, it could be tragic that they died the way that they did, and whatever. The guy could be mentally ill, and there's a lot of that happening in recent history. There's mentally ill folks all across the nation that are not getting the help that they need, and are unfortunately taking shit out on others once they reach their end. You know, and so who knows? I'm not gonna say either or. I'm just gonna say there's information that should come forward, and that everything should be made public. I mean, what do they have to lose? They got the guy. The other people are dead. You know, release the information. That's how I feel. So we'll have to let everybody take what they take from it and judge for themselves. Yep,
I definitely think that it's something that that should be looked into more, and that they should release more of that more of the fucking footage. But then again, for respect for her, if, you know, this is real and she did get shot and she did die, you know, it is kind of in bad taste to release footage of her getting shot. You know what I mean? It's already out there, so I could see why they would be hesitant to release it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It really is, it is up in the air as of now, and it's most likely going to disappear. It reminds me of the whole Sandy Hook thing, and the kid's dad that came out and talked. He talked 6 hours after his child was shot at school, at an elementary school, and he was laughing. They went live like too early, and the live stream started like, you know, 5 seconds before they thought. And he was talking to someone off to the side of the podium, and he was laughing and like, oh, yeah, all right, man. And he steps up to the podium and he like takes a deep breath, and he's all like, and straight gets into character. Like, I was in drama class when I was in high school. He was getting into character. Like, that's what you do. You like take a minute, process, change your mind frame. And then he started like pushing his eyes and like started crying, and he opened his eyes, and then he was just like, thank you all for coming. We need to end this and stop and get gun control and blah. It was the exact same thing that this dude said.
Right.
Probably word for word. They have the same dude write every speech. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. It's a sick age that we live in, where we have to question things like this because we've been lied to so much.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's not that we're desensitized by TV or, you know, by all of this crazy shit. It's because we've been lied to countless times, and then just recently with the whole fucking Edward Snowden and WikiLeaks thing, we found out that we've been lied to immensely, more than we ever thought that we would have been, and that a lot of people's conspiracy theories about how the government controls more than we think is actually real. It's not just a theory anymore. This shit is on paper with a U.S. government stamp behind it. You know what I mean? It's
Boom.
crazy.
So right there, we jump into our next topic.
All right.
And our next topic is how North Dakota just legalized drones to carry weapons for local police.
Yep, they absolutely did. And that reminds me of a lot of movies. I would like to bring up Terminator. I'd like to bring up that new Chappie movie with Di Antwoord. And I would also like to bring up a third movie, RoboCop. And all of those combined would be their drones that they're about to unleash on society.
Check this out.
It is now legal for North Dakota police to use drones to fire tasers and tear gas at people. Thanks to the work of a lobbyist who represents law enforcement and has ties with the drone industry, a bill was passed by the North Dakota State House that allows police to use armed drones. After obtaining a search warrant from a judge, North Dakota police can deploy drones to collect real-time intelligence video for criminal evidence. These police drones, however, are now also allowed to carry less than lethal weapons, like rubber bullets, pepper spray, tear gas, sound cannons, and tasers. But even less than lethal weapons can kill. According to The Guardian, at least 39 people have been killed by police tasers in 2015. With these weapons, police could potentially fire on criminal suspects from far away, much like how U.S. Air Force drone pilots bomb ISIS militants from 10,000 miles away. According to the FAA, 401 drone operations were undertaken by the Grand Forks County, North Dakota Sheriff's Department in the past 3 years. The department insists there were only 21 flights. Drones are seen as a positive thing in North Dakota, which, according to the Daily Beast, may be the reason why few people noticed when the House bill passed with a clause allowing them to be armed with less than lethal weapons.
Like this video?
Yeah, so that's more of the typical fuckery that we have to deal with on a daily basis, and that's why we question everything. And the point just proves itself all the time right there. It just said 401 flights, and they said they only did 21. You know, like that's such a huge difference. You know, like the fact that they think they can pull the covers over everybody's eyes all the fucking time. They just assume that they could do whatever they want, and they hide everything they do. And then when it comes out later, it's like, oh well, we don't have to be held accountable. You know, and that's the type of shit that is fucking up the world for everybody. You know, it's like no wonder that there's people out there now making businesses out of following and recording police, and you know what I mean. And I agree. I think that a rich billionaire out there needs to set up like a trust fund for a new type of accountant. The type of accountants that hold the government people accountable. You know what I mean? The type of people that hold local and all law enforcement accountable. You know, the type that follow the money and watch where all of our money goes and where it's spent. The type that make sure that everything is just and that everything is filmed and done the right way. You know, the type that want to show that these people are supposed to work for us. You know, the taxpayers are the boss, not the officials. You know what I mean? And when people realize that it's us that makes the shit happen, then we'll be able to put the rights back in our own hands. You know what I mean? I feel like we're getting used and taken advantage of every year. Every year that we have to pay taxes and shit doesn't go the way we want it to go, we're being used. We're being ripped off. We're being taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how are we benefiting from any of this shit? How are we benefiting from them wasting money on drones and drone school and teaching all these people how to pilot them and how to attach the different weapons to them, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's paying for this shit? We are. They're not fucking paying for this. It's not coming out of their police pensions or pockets or anything. No, they get to use more of our money that we have to pay into this fucked up system. You know what I'm saying? We're paying for all this fuckery. Who wants that shit? You want drones flying over your house? And watching your yard, potentially dropping mace or fucking non-lethal weapons, rubber bullets or whatever, shooting them at your fucking children around your house or at your pets because they're too afraid to come to your door because you have a dog or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's inexcusable for them to violate our rights and pass laws in a bill that's a stack of a couple hundred pages, and it's this one little clause inside of a fucking 1,000 pages somewhere that's, you know what I mean, that you're not going to see because they hide it from you that way. They do it in litigations and fucking things that most people are not aware of. They're not going to go and catch them doing it in. You know what I mean? It's like there's fucking snakes. Yeah, they are. And it bothers me that we have no right or no say in it whatsoever.
That's why this WikiLeaks thing happened years ago, but things are still coming out because a lot of the details are hidden in documents that are hundreds of pages long, but really only have one paragraph that they're trying to get past, and the rest of it is all bullshit. And it's all stuff that really doesn't matter and all kinds of fucking jargon and legal talk. So they're definitely shifty, and it's fucked up that the people that work for us, that we employ to govern us, that we elect to hold those positions are totally fucking us over behind our backs. And I agree that we need some sort of accountant for the people, someone that can watch them for us and be like a middleman that's not working for the government. But they'll never let it happen. I do know that the ACLU released a new app a few months ago that's like a cop block app. And what it is you start recording if you have any sort of confrontation or interaction with police. You just start recording, let them know you're recording it. And it all gets fed straight to the cloud. It's like a live broadcast to their server. And so even if the cops were to take your phone, stop the video, delete the video, break your phone. It'll still be
it already
online.
sends out messages to others around you that have the app to let you know that you're filming and where it's at, so they can come help you. And it has a lot of good shit to it. But also there's Periscope. You know, all you have to do is put it in your settings. Yeah, go into Periscope settings and have it record everything that you do, not just live stream it. And once it's recorded, it's out there. You know, it's in the server, it's in the website. They even if they erase it from your phone, it's out there somewhere. You know, it's able for you to get it, and it's too late.
Yep. So with technology now, there's a lot of ways to record, you know, all of this illegal activity. I don't know how many videos I've seen online or from my friends even that they post online that cops are just being shady as fuck. And they're just like, is he recording us? Did he record us? And I don't know how many of these videos end with a police officer looking into the camera, turning off the recorder, and, you know, deleting the video after that. And it was saved somehow. And there was one that I saw recently that was fucked up, where this dude's registration was overdue, and it was only overdue by like 3 days. And, you know, like with your car registration, they usually give you like a month to get everything ready, you know what I mean? And they'll like start giving you shit, because I had registration problems for a while. And this dude was 3 days behind, and the cop goes, all right, well, here's the deal. I have these tickets, and it was for like some fucking policeman's ball or some shit. And he's like, I got these tickets. They're $10 a piece. Either you guys can buy 3 of these tickets, or I'm going to take your car. And he's like, that's how it is, man. Go ahead and help your local police officers. We serve you. We serve you and we protect you, so help us out. And he straight bullied these dudes into buying these tickets. And just because his chief was like, sell these tickets, you know what I mean? And it was like a crazy thing that, you know, if he would punk these dudes and be like, either I'm going to take your car or you're going to buy these tickets, what else is that cop willing to do? And what else is any other cop willing to do? And it makes it really hard for good people to become cops. You know what I mean? Good people don't want to be cops because they're not loved anymore. They're not respected. All of their peers are going to be doing shady ass shit, and then they're going to be
and a lot of
in
times
danger
when
if they're not.
A lot of times when the good cops are there, they're outnumbered by the shitty cops, and they end up having to just quit their job and leave.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And so I feel like the whole system is corrupt. I feel like, you know, it's not going to get better. It's got to get worse before it gets better. And unfortunately, these are the type of things that happen. History tends to repeat itself. And, you know, we're going to have to go through some more shit before we get some better shit. And hopefully it's not you or somebody you know that's affected by the situation. You know, you just got to hope that something changes so people get their act together, you know?
Yep. And also, I would like to, this seems like a good time to welcome Jeff Mazinski, the guy that was in Missouri that was spending a life sentence for having weed.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever it was, however much weed it wasn't even that much. And anyway, Jeff Mazinski? Mazinski. I'm going to say Mazinski. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. But Jeff Mazinski got released today. Today is September 1st, a Tuesday, and he just got released. So he's served 21 years of a life sentence. This guy's life is ruined. Most of his family is probably dead, and he can't get his old job back. No one's going to want to hire him. They're not going to want to know why he was in prison for 21 years. It was some sort of drug charge is what it's going to say. And now they're going to throw this dude out into the world and be like, here, now you're fucked. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's talking about how it's so great that he's out, and it is. But hopefully this dude gets a movie deal, or I'm sure he's going to have a lot of interviews. I mean, weed's getting legalized everywhere. Hopefully somebody takes care of this guy. I want to interview him. I'll pay him. Jeff, I'll pay you $50 for an interview. All right? On the podcast. We're going to set this up. I'm going to email you today. As soon as you put some sort of...
You got to smoke with us.
Yeah, you got to smoke with us. And, you know, it's dope. I'm really, really glad that he's out and that he doesn't have to spend the rest of his life in prison for this, especially when all these kids are smoking legal weed now. You know what I mean?
I hope he moves away from whatever shitty state he was living in.
Yeah, and move to Colorado, man, or
Yeah,
Oregon.
go to Washington or Colorado, Oregon. Come to the West Coast. Shit.
Yeah, and you know, it's fucked up because they're releasing him just like they would release any other prisoner. He didn't expect to ever get out of prison, and you know, I really hope that a lot of people get out of prison and they're fucked. You know what I mean? Especially after doing 21 years. And I hope this dude's all right. We're gonna check in with him after we do the interview. Then we'll check in like a month later, see how he's doing, and hopefully he hasn't Shawshank Redemption himself from the overhang in his hallway.
Right.
Yeah.
So also there's been more info about the Ashley Madison hack.
Oh yeah.
15,000 government employees were on the list.
I found out something that was really funny. That like they did a local thing. Someone in San Luis Obispo County found all the people that had Ashley Madison accounts that were within San Luis Obispo County, and then
1,001.
Yeah, 1,001, and out of those 1,001, there was only like 300 females or 139 females, and then most of those females, like 95% of those females, were fake accounts that were set up by AshleyMadison.com, or they were dudes pretending to be girls. And Ashley Madison was pretty much just a bunch of guys talking to each other. And there was no real girls. And the real girls that there was one woman locally, and she had spent, like, because you spend money to, like, talk to people, it said. You buy, like, credits, and then the credits, like, you buy, like, chat sessions and shit. So people were spending people were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the first place was, like, some old man that was in Cambria. And then second place was some lady who's, like, a dental assistant or some shit. And she just out there just spending mad money on Ashley Madison. But she was one of maybe 1,000 women worldwide that were real and a part of it. And it's funny that all these men are being outed, government officials. That one, there was like some priest that was like some Saudi Arabian priest or something like that.
Yeah.
And then
Snooki from Jersey Shore. Her baby's daddy was on there.
Oh dang!
And then the Duggar dude with the TV show with all the kids and shit.
Yeah.
He was on there, and like all kinds of other celebrities. 15,000 government employees. Fucking everybody, everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was all dudes talking to other dudes.
Yeah, and it's funny because they didn't even get anything out of it. Like it's not like they met. It's not like they met women. And you know what? I think that this dudes talking to dudes article is like, it's a ploy made by a man who was on the site. And he was like, all right, look, I'm going to make this thing. We're going to make this article and I'm going to pay to get it reposted everywhere. And what it's going to say, is that it was fake. And then our wives are going to feel sorry for us that we're so stupid and that we didn't even really talk to any girls. They were all just guys.
That could be some shady genius shit.
It could be.
Here's what we could do. If you out there were on the Ashley Madison site and you successfully adultered, hit us up. Come on the episode. We'll talk to you and we'll ask you about it.
Yeah. Tell us all the details.
If you successfully met a real female off of Ashley Madison.
Doesn't matter how old or fat she was.
Yeah.
As long as she had a vagina.
Just the fact that she's a woman.
Yep.
And not a man.
That's literally all it takes.
Yeah. Message us at naturalhabitatpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. And then also if you were part of Ashley Madison and you did not meet up with any real women, you just chatted with some that may or may not be real, then I want you to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Do not write us at Natural Habitat Podcast because we do not want to hear that. We don't want to hear your story about how you think it was a woman, but you're not really sure. She sent pictures. That's not what I want to know. I want to know that you subscribe to the podcast. So subscribe to the podcast. It should send you an email that says thank you for subscribing, and then forward that email to naturalhabitatpodcast@gmail.com. And maybe if you do that, then I will pay for a free month of Match.com for you, and you can maybe meet a real woman.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Yeah, man, I think it was funny that it came out that it was just a bunch of dudes talking to each other, and this was really all. They all got outed, lost their wives. That's grounds for divorce. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What had happened was I was trolling Pornhub and X videos and all these other porn sites, free porn sites, and these fucking pop-up ads kept popping up. And this was Ashley Madison ad kept popping up, and it was like, yo, do you want to have an affair and your wife never find out? Click on this link and sign up now, where millions of other people are meeting their matches. And unfortunately, it's millions of other dudes that you're talking to because they're all scam websites, and these fools are getting filthy fucking rich off all you little pervs that can't fucking handle it.
Yep, somebody got rich. That's for sure.
Yeah, somebody's getting sued too.
Yep.
I doubt that their cases are valid. You know what I mean? If it's dudes that are mad that their information, I mean, if their information got, let's say because the info was leaked, their credit information became insecure. Like they got their identity stolen or something like that. So if somebody stole your credit and is spending your money out there, then you have a valid case against Ashley Madison for privacy rights. You know what I mean? When you sign up to their privacy rights, they're supposed to be held accountable to keep your information private and not let anything happen to it, you know. So that does go both ways. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but I assume that that's where all these cases are based off of.
Yeah,
but
I think so too.
On the other hand, if nothing happened to you, how is your case valid? If you didn't suffer from any identity theft, you're just suing because your wife left you or whatever, and you're just trying to prove some validity in your fraudulent attempt to fucking unsuccessful attempts to achieve an affair.
Yeah, because everybody found out you were talking to dudes. I think that you could probably sue on grounds of defamation of character, but you would have to sue the dude who leaked it, and I don't think they caught the guy who leaked it. Or was it a lady? Was it a really savvy, nerdy lady that was just super hot, had glasses, was sitting in front of her computer, and because they wrote Ashley Madison and they said, we're going to hack into your account and we're going to release everyone's information if you don't shut down your site, because your site is deplorable and it's really bad and we don't like it. So
some angry housewife was snooping through emails,
who doesn't like freedom of speech,
found her husband's shit. Found her husband's shit, and then put out an ad on Craigslist and said that she was looking for a hacker, and anybody anonymously mail her back, and you know what I mean. And then they hacked the site and leaked all this shit, and nobody got any money or anything out of it. Nobody got any validity out of any fucking thing that they did, especially the wives. Now that you know that your husbands were cheating on you with other dudes, how do you feel? You know?
Right? That's a whole new ball game.
You gotta feel even worse now. You leaked the information and you found out that they were all being gay. So it's like, are you happy now? Do you think any dude's gonna want to be with you after this? You fucking exposers.
Yep. Man, the Ashley Madison news is fun. Every time they drop a new piece of Ashley Madison news, shit. I'm very intrigued.
Good times, man.
Yep,
Good times.
Yep. So let's see. I say that we smoke one with everybody right now, and just kind of spread the love, spread the peace of the cannabis. And that episode of Church of Cannabis did really good. We got the most likes and the most reposts on that one, but Free the Bacon is the most popular episode. So
yeah.
One day down the road, if that flies, we're gonna have to do a repost of Free the Bacon, and then also we need to do another Church of Cannabis episode. That's for sure.
Fuck that. How about everybody just go back and get them? Look for all episodes that you haven't heard. you might have heard today's episode, but maybe you didn't hear 2 days ago's episode or whatever it is. Go subscribe on iTunes. Go subscribe.
Yep.
That way you don't miss any episodes. If you're on your phone, that shit will instantly download, so you're ready to listen to it. If you're on a computer, it'll just save and put it in a nice little playlist for you. And you know what I mean.
And if you have if you have an Android phone and you don't have an iPhone, you can go to the App Store and get yourself an app called Podkicker. That's what I use to listen to all my favorite podcasts. And you could search us up in there, add us, and it also you could stream it, or you could download it, and it downloads it in a really small file size, so that so it doesn't eat up all your data if you have a shitty data plan. You know what I mean?
There goes that dyslexia again. We're gonna have to put the clip in now.
I know, because we're trying to look out for you guys, because I am a fan of podcasts. I personally have unlimited data, so I don't have to worry about it. But I know a lot of people that don't have unlimited data on their cell phone plans, and we're doing podcasts every other day sometimes, and that shit eats up. You could listen to maybe 12 podcasts, and that's not even 2 weeks, and then you're done for the rest of the month. So we're trying to help you guys out. Also, there's an article that I found that you can go look up. There's all kinds of ways, tips and tricks to save data when you're downloading podcasts. So don't let that stop you, and that is no excuse. So if you go, my data plan,
go to Starbucks,
I can't really do it. Just download it on
Starbucks.
Wi-Fi, ho. Come on.
Put on a free Wi-Fi. Fuck. Do something.
If you're not up to Starbucks, class level, just go to McDonald's. Go to McDonald's. They have that too. Free Wi-Fi at McDonald's.
Or the library. Go to the library. Everybody goes to the library for the free Wi-Fi.
Yep. Oh, wait. I forgot I was supposed to smoke this with the people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Man, I know that I've had this studio set up for a while with did your fan just kick on?
No.
I got like a fuzz going on. That's all right. I'm going to cut it out in post for real this time. But it's gone. Cool. I've had the studio set up a certain way for a while with Mr. Waffles in here, and now that he's gone, I have one shitty microphone stand that's full of tape, and then I have one microphone stand that actually works and is all brand new style. And
nice.
I finally switched them out because I let my guest use the one that works, and then I use the ghetto one to try to be polite. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And now it's like I can move it around, all kinds. I'm moving all the way across the room right now, and people can't even tell.
Now I gotta step my game up. Fuck.
But there was another piece of marijuana news that I wanted to spit out. We got on a spiel about telling people to go listen to the podcast. Go subscribe to the damn podcast. And if you have only listened to this one and not any other ones, and you're all the way to the end of it because you enjoyed it, then you should probably go listen to Free the Bacon and Church of Cannabis, because those are popular ones and my favorites.
And every Throwback Thursday episode. Those are my favorites.
Throwback Thursdays are fun. And we have a new one coming out on Thursday, so listen to that one. So make sure you subscribe, follow, so that you will get that as soon as it drops. And there's this other piece of news I found. There it is. Did you hear about bud tenders and marijuana bars?
No.
They've been starting to do them in Oregon. Now that on October 1st, it's going to be officially legal everywhere. But now you can do recreational use, like in your home or whatever. You know what I mean? They're not arresting people for it, and businesses are starting to open up. So these people just got married in Oregon earlier this month, and they had a marijuana bar inside of a tent, and it was 13 different strains that you could sample with the help of a bud tender, and they just had giant jars of all the strains, a whole bunch of bongs and, little pipes and vaporizers and whatever, and they're going to start opening those and having them for events. So if you have an event, you can have a little bud bar, and it'll just be like a hot box tent that everybody goes in and smokes together as if you're picking out like top shelf liquor and getting a shot you would just be like, oh, let
They,
me get that.
They do those at all the cannabis cups here.
Yeah, and it's gonna be cool because it'll be outside of a cannabis festival. It'll just be at regular places. You could just be at a, whatever event, whatever concert or some sort of day-long event, and then just see the tent over in the corner and go hop in there and get high.
Well, they need to do that here. Once California legalizes for recreational,
2016,
we need to have weed bars. We need to have a place where the stoners can go out at night and go to the bar and smoke their weed without having to be surrounded by drunken idiots. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of drunk assholes that are trying to fight with everybody or trying to fucking...
I hate it.
Trying to touch on every girl and... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to chill, dude. I like to go out and be social too, but I don't want to... You know what I mean? I'd rather be social with people that are like-minded.
Yep.
You know? I'm not the type that likes drinking, so I don't associate with that. I never go to the bar unless it's like performing at a show or something like that. You know what I mean? But that's really it. I have no intention or need or want to go be around that shit. And I swear, if there was a weed bar, even if we could smoke weed at the regular bar, if that was a thing, you know what I mean? If we were allowed to, I bet a lot more stoners would go out. You know, a lot more people would go out, and the scene would probably be a lot more chill.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I would be able to I would be able to put up with whatever. If I was high, I wouldn't even give a fuck. I'd be like, oh, that's cool, bro.
And then anybody that's being an asshole, there would be 5 people there to be like, hey, man, come on. We're all people here, bro.
Yeah.
Like, let's just relax and have a good time. Let me buy you a bong load, okay?
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about positivity for sure.
I agree.
And that would definitely add a lot more positive element. You wouldn't be worried about somebody drinking and driving.
Yep.
Maybe smoking and calling Uber. You know?
Yeah. I think Uber drivers should have a setup like a glass setup so that they can kind of seal off the front seat from the back seat, like policeman style, if they want to.
Yeah.
And you could smoke back there and just have the windows down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there are going to be
a lot more than
there's going to be a lot of driving and smoking laws once everything.
We need to come up with our own. We need to make our own Uber. It's like Lyft, but it's a different type of Lyft. Where you get lifted.
Yeah, that's good. Lifted. We could call it lifted, and then people would be like, "Yeah, man, I'm getting lifted right now." So that would mean I'm getting picked up by a car. Instead
this
of
copyright, trademark, not used by
this is a copyright. We said it. We said it on the podcast on September 1st, 2015. We came up with this idea. So if anybody steals it, we have this, and then we could just get money for it. I really like that idea, dude.
If you bring us enough money, we'll sell you the idea. Don't trip.
Absolutely.
We're not stingy.
I think it's really dope. Lifted.
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
If some secret Batman style billionaire wants to invest, we'll be the face of your new company, Lifted, and we'll be the first permanent people that need to be driven everywhere.
Yep, and we won't tell anybody who you are. If you are some sort of Batman character like that, you can come to us as Batman, and we won't know your real identity, and that way we won't be able to leak it. And
hashtag Bruce.
Yeah, and also we're both men, so we don't have to worry about you telling us your identity because Batman has a problem with telling women who he is in real life. Every single woman that he meets and that he gets intimate with, he says, "I'm Bruce Wayne, the billionaire. Look at my face." And he takes off his mask, and he does it so much, dude, like so many times. In every movie, he does it. And so I would like to assure you that when you come, our receptionist plank will be gone, and it'll just be us, so you won't be compelled to tell us who you are. I think he just does it to get extra laid. Like, he already knows that she's going to fuck him because he's Batman, but if he goes, oh yeah, I'm also a millionaire playboy, then he's getting in the ass for sure. Like,
what if Batman was really Kevin Smith?
And he wore a girdle?
I think it is. The more I think about it all the time, it really is.
I think Kevin Smith would make a better Batman than Ben Affleck. Definitely.
I don't know. If Kevin Smith directed the Ben Affleck Batman, I think it could be the best one ever.
Yeah, I think that if Kevin Smith got the part of Batman, that it would push him to lose weight. He would have no problem losing all that weight and working out, and he would bulk up. They'd give him like 2 years and be like, after Ben Affleck's career's done, you get to be the new Batman. Get ready. I guarantee he would fucking turn his whole life around. Not that he's out of shape. Like he's
Jay could be Robin and shit.
Yeah, he's not like unhealthy fat, but he's like a fat kid. You know what I mean? He's a fat kid.
Would Jay be
for all the
Robin,
fat
or would
kids.
he be like Batgirl?
Or
Catwoman.
He most likely would play a feminine character just because of him.
Maybe-
What was that movie?
Cat-
What was the movie he was in where he played the roommate and his dick was always out? Did you see that movie?
Nope.
That's all. That's all I remember when I think of him now. I just think of him walking around the house with his dick out. It was very, very distracting. But I think they did all kinds of photo shoots, Batman and Robin style, back in the day.
Hashtag free the bacon.
Hashtag free the Muse.
Jason
Mewes, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yep, free the Muse. And,
Yeah, and I met them down here one day at the bookstore.
Yeah? Were they doing
Yeah.
like a signing, or were they just there?
Yeah, they were putting it. Jay was putting out this new book. He made a book and he did all the illustration himself. Like he drew everything himself.
Oh, dope.
And yeah, it was pretty cool.
You still got a copy?
Yeah, somewhere.
Huh. Well, that's dope. Maybe we could post some photos of it online.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's see. That's about it. I also had one more piece of news that I wanted to say before we left, but I don't think I'm going to say it. It's kind of a downer.
Oh yeah, I got one.
All right.
You know the rapper Chief Keef?
Yeah, I know Chief Keef.
He named his son Snow Philmon.com Cozart. So he named his kid after Philmon.com, which is the fucking pay-per-view website that they've used for the battles and all that shit. I don't know what kind of deal he's got with them or what they're paying for. Maybe they're paying for his new album out or like whatever it is, but he legit is naming his son after that.
How much money?
Snowphilmon.com Cozart.
How much
Look it up,
money
bro.
does it
Google
take to fucking to buy someone's son's middle name? What kind
Probably
of
not much.
What kind of advertising money do they have at Philmon.com?
They got a lot, bro. It's a fucking pay-per-view service.
Yeah, I guess they do. Netflix and all the pay-per-view services are making bank now. We got to make one.
No, it's a live streaming pay-per-view service. Like, you know, like when they did like the Disaster and Cassidy battle.
Yeah.
And like all the big battles and shit is Philmon.com. And then they do like fights. They stream fights and they do all kinds of shit. They're big as fuck. So they definitely got money, but I doubt that they had to pay that much. Even if it was $1 million, that ain't that much.
That's crazy, man. And it's
To
like,
name your child that.
fuck. What a fucking, wow. That's like the
Anybody want to give me $1 million for a future child name? I'm with it.
But
Sign me up right now.
You're never going to have a child. We know about that. You want the money now?
Shh. You're not supposed to tell them that.
I said
But
I said you already have a child, is what I said, and you're just gonna
Yeah, there
change
you
his
go, there you
name.
go. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Oh, all right, cool. So and
My
then
firstborn's name can be fill in the blank, whatever you want. You know.
I'd say Philmon.
Fill in the blank.
I'd say Philmon.com because they're already in the market for middle names, so you know.
Philmon.com. Hit me up. Give me that milli. You know what I'm saying? I'll even put a song. I'll make a song about it and shit. You know what I mean? I got you.
Yep.
Give me that.
Hopefully by the next Tuesday when we're here, we'll have news of the Philmon.com collaboration with Varsity Dropouts.
Yeah, shit. We'll name our album Philmon.com if you want to give us that milli.
Yeah. Also,
Fuck it.
also while we're here today, and now that I have you, I want to tell you at the very, very end of this podcast, because you are the people that really matter. You are my friends, and you are the ones that are still listening. I really should have said this at the beginning, but I didn't. That Killer Chris and I just dropped a brand new track with Cut Calhoun of Black Gold Entertainment, formerly Estranged Music, and you can find that on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Mikey Booyah, or right here at our Natural Habitat SoundCloud page. I will most likely repost it for our beautiful listeners. So go and share that, like that, download that, follow that, send it to Cut Calhoun and say, this song sounds like shit. Why'd you do this? And also send it to your mom and go, I'm moving to California, Mom, and just have the song like in the attachments or whatever you want. So it's called Soul Search and it's out now. Go bump that. You guys got a new varsity track that you're dropping this week?
Yeah, the next track we're dropping is called Fast Forward with Juke Ellington is the producer, and it's gonna be a pretty big track for us as well. So go team.
Fucking A. Go Team Venture.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a great day, and we will see you on Thursday for a throwback episode.
Peace, bitches.
The Natural Habitat Podcast.